Yeah, at 6 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get roll call, please?
Mayor Dave Dillon,
Here.
council members Norris Johnson,
Here.
Lindsee Larson,
Here.
Ken Mueller,
Here.
Tim Porter.
Here. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second. I have a fair amount of changes here, in additions, I shouldn't say, not just changes. On the consent agenda, item F, if you want to move that, resolution 2543, move that down to ordinances and resolutions. Where did we add that?
Aye.
Aye, there it is. Thank you. And then, under ordinance 552 and 553, we got to add first reading. It didn't say first reading on your initial agenda, but it will be the first reading on those. And then under 10, reports of departments, boards, and committees, add the handout of calls for item B from the police report. You got your handout of calls. That was added. And let's see. We need a motion under public hearing 7. After we're done with the public hearing on the wellhead protection plan draft, we will need to add a motion to submit the wellhead protection plan to the Minnesota Department of Health for review and their approval. So we'll add that after the public hearing. That'll be when we're out of the public hearing? Correct.
Yep.
Okay. And then one more thing. Under new business D, we're gonna add a discussion on the new cannabis licensing issue and the Mellow Fellow. Just a discussion, some items that have come up that we need to talk about. All right, sorry, that was a lot, but, and I forgot to put this on. Those are the additions. Anybody else have any additions or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor indicate with an eye. Aye. Opposed? The agenda passes. On the consent agenda tonight are the approval of the minutes from November 19th, 2025, approval of December 10, 2025 special meeting, approval of bills, resolution 2541, accepting donations, resolution 2542, write-off invoice amounts. F was moved. Resolution 2544, approving 2026 liquor and tobacco licenses. Resolution 2545, approving gambling premises permit application for Milaca Firefighters Relief Association. I get a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any other questions or concerns on the consent agenda? Hearing none, all in favor indicate with an eye. Aye. Opposed, consent agenda passes. Open forum. If there's anyone here tonight that would like to address any issue that is not on the agenda.
I have something that's on the agenda. Will I be able to speak about it then?
Yes, you can.
Items H and I.
Yep,
Okay,
you can.
Thank you.
So hearing nothing else, we'll move on to the public hearing. The first public hearing is on truth and taxation. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing for truth and taxation? So moved.
A second.
Okay.
At 6:04.
Oh, I forgot the time. Thank you. All right. Did you have anything you want to add on this, Tammy, or just if anyone is here to discuss?
Just
Truth
if
and
anyone has any
taxation.
questions.
Any questions, comments? I don't think there's any. No questions, no comments? Hearing none, well, can I get a motion to close the public hearing on truth and taxation?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So we'll close that public hearing. Now, can I get a motion to open a public hearing on the wellhead protection plan draft? So moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So that one opens at 6:05. I had talked to Tammy, oh, Gary is here. Did you have anything we need to, it's great reading.
Just an update to our city wellhead protection plan. Every 10 years, we have to update our plan. This is due to be updated, so it's making sure that the city's drinking water, specifically where the wells are, remains safe, and we have inventories of other wells or septic systems in the area or potential contamination sources. Having this wellhead protection plan, those are requirements, but it also gives us good opportunities to get drinking water grants. We've gotten a couple of those in the past few years, so it's a good thing to have.
Anybody have any questions for Gary on it?
Gary, I noticed in that plan that they talked about maybe the possibility of exploring potential sites for a third city well. At what point would we do that? What point would that be needed?
Not needed at this time. I think it'd be a substantial increase in either population or different type of business, water usage increase.
So our wells are keeping up with all of our needs.
Yeah, I'd say we probably need to, I don't know, almost double our usage to justify putting another well in.
Oh, okay.
That's good news.
Those ones were also just rehab a couple years ago, so a well service comes and pumps water down the wells just to open the ground back up and get better flow, so in good shape.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So move.
Second. All in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, the public hearing is closed at 6:08. All right. I'm gonna have to use my glasses. Now I need a motion to submit the wellhead protection plan to the Minnesota Department of Health for review and their approval.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any questions on that? That's just to submit the plan. If not, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Request and communication to request from Pastor Trent Bergeron to extend curfew hours for New Year's Eve event at Grecki Center. I get a motion for that.
Move for approval. I'll second that.
All right, any questions or anything we need to know different on that? No? If not, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed? The request passes. Moving on, ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance 549, fee increases, the second reading. Get a motion on that?
So move.
Second.
Second.
Any questions on that? All good on that one? Ken, you good?
Yeah.
Everybody good? All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I was just kind of making sure before I said anything. All right, if no other questions, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ordinance 549 passes. Ordinance 550, amending Title 5, Chapter 51.24, Subdivision C, water pipes installation, second reading.
Move for approval. I'll second that.
Any questions on that?
Where's subdivision C?
Where is it?
Yeah.
I don't know where subdivision C.
Or is that subdivision of the chapter?
It's just subdivision of the chapter, isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
like A,
that's what I
B, and
thought.
C.
Right.
Yeah. Anything with that, Gary, that's, No other questions? All in favor indicate with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ordinance 550 passes. Ordinance 551, amending Title 9, Chapter 95, Section 95.11, dangerous dogs, second reading. Get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Anybody had questions on that? That was just some clarification and stuff, looked like?
Yeah, reviser's website and change the orders and statutes, and you'll have references and clarifications.
Perfect. Any other questions? If not, all in favor indicate with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ordinance 551 passes. Ordinance 552, amending Title 5, Chapter 50.07, garbage license collector duties and obligations. First reading, but we can take a motion to waive the second reading, if you guys are okay with that. It's basically just cleaning up something from this summer,
It
correct?
was the hours.
Yep, the hours.
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we waive the second reading or the first reading and.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now you need a motion for the ordinance.
So moved.
A second.
All in favor of 5452 indicate with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ordinance 552 passes. Ordinance 553, amending Title 9, Chapter 90.02, hours and access. First reading. I get a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions on that one? Lots of clarifying. Just the one change on that, Tammy, is
Yeah.
basically it? Okay. Third day a camper must vacate the campground for a minimum of 5 days. Any other questions on that? If not, all in favor indicate with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 553 passes. Resolution 2546, summarizing ordinance number 549 for publication purposes.
Move for approval.
I'll second it.
That's just our motion or ordinance to publish it. All in favor indicate with an aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution 2546 passes. Resolution 2547, summarizing ordinance 551 for publication purposes.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Same thing. Any questions on this? All in favor indicate with an aye.
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 Opposed? 2547 passes. Resolution 2548, approving state airport fund grant agreement with the Minnesota DOT, contract number 1061954. I get a motion for that.
I make a motion.
A second.
Any questions on that or anything new that's come up or anything?
No.
All right, if no questions, then all in favor indicate with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 2548 passes. When we added aye, we just moved that from the consent agenda. That is just to Resolution 2543, approving the final 2026 budget and levy. Can I get a motion for that?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions on that?
I think we did a good job. Our initial levy, I think, was 6.59, is that right?
It was 5%, the preliminary.
I mean, when our first look at it.
Before
was-
that, though.
was
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
then we dropped it
Yeah.
to 5.
Yep.
and-
Yep.
Initial.
Anybody else have questions on it? If not, all in favor of 2543 indicate with, 2543 indicate with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 2543, the levy resolution passes. Now we move on to reports of departments, boards, and commissions. City manager.
Already getting our list to start the audit.
When do they, that's a couple months yet though, isn't it, or a month?
They'll come here on the 1st to do inventory at the liquor
Oh,
store.
yeah, that's right,
Yeah, so,
okay. Anything else?
that's it.
Okay, police department, the incident report that you have, that was handed out, you have that. Anything else to add, Gwen?
No, is that report easy enough to read? It's very similar to the previous one, and I know also, Holly will send you guys kind of more expanded reports leading up to the meetings as well. But
Mhm.
just wanted to check that, that seems like it'll work for the purposes of the council meeting.
Yeah, it works for me, I think it's really good, thank you. Any other questions for Quinn? Now I'll move to the parks, nothing there, Gary, right now?
Ice skating rink is going to, it was melted the last couple days, but I think it should be open for the weekend here.
Great, that, I just had a question on that, and I said, well, it would either stop snowing or stop warming up, you're getting one or the other, so,
The rain might have helped yesterday.
yeah. Okay, Public Works, contractor's request for final payment to Northern Lines Contracting for $92,000, $726.81. Move for approval?
Second that.
Any questions on that?
Yeah, this is a final payment on the airport road.
Be nice to be done with that. All in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, so final payment to Northern Lines passes. Request for authorization to proceed with plans and specifications for Rum River Special Ed Co-op Utilities Project. Make a motion.
I make a motion.
Second?
Second?
Moving along. Any questions on it? Nothing
see.
new.
I see they got the lot pretty well prepared out there.
Yeah, they're moving as fast as they can, I think. Seems like it. They're pushing, so it's good. So far, no issues.
Just need to finalize the easement with
Yep.
Terry Bemis.
Yep. If no other questions, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Request for authorization for Rum River Special Ed passes. Liquor store, Vicky's not here. Fire department,
Nothing really. We had a shed fire last night up on 19. So, pretty crazy, never drove up on something that had fireworks inside it.
Oh, really?
Shooting off as he drove up.
wow,
It was a sight, so,
Yeah,
Wow.
Chris showed me a picture of it today. That was
yeah,
amazing.
I
Wow.
heard there was ammunition in there too.
yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That isn't really that big of a deal, because a bullet just, it doesn't have any force to go anywhere. So,
Just
I'd say
explode.
most time that never hurts anything unless there's a loaded gun.
that would scare me.
Yeah.
Huh. Thank you, Jesse. Moving on then to planning and zoning resolution number 2549, denying Milaca Park variance. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
This is when you want to, now? Wait,
Well,
I guess if you're gonna deny it, I'm fine with that. That's
Oh.
why I'm here to oppose the passing of it.
oh, okay, yeah, we were gonna, I mean, the motion is to deny it.
Perfect, thank you.
So one question that came to mind after the planning commission, well, back, whatever it was, 7 years ago when the building was being laid out and built, why didn't you oppose it at that time or express opposition or?
Well, we was building a building, we didn't realize how close it was to the property lines. We didn't have our property surveyed until afterwards. It was
Okay.
a number of years later that we had it surveyed.
Yeah. So at the time the building was built, nobody knew exactly where the property line was?
Well, you have a rough idea, but it was never surveyed.
Yeah,
And he built the building bigger than the blueprint plan that he had given the city. So that
Yeah.
was part of the problem also.
So Norris, you remember, I showed you, and I have letters for my opposition And, the building permit as it was submitted and approved and paid for by the square footage,
Yeah.
and he built it. No? All right.
But,
So when this building permit was filled out and his drawings for the building, which is on Exhibit C. So the applicant has, it's 36 feet from the property line. It is not. He did not build it 50 by 80, which he proposed. He built it 50 by 96, and he bumped it out, which his drawing is, it's all straight. He bumped it out 4 feet onto our property. If he would have built it like the building permit was submitted, not bumping it out 4 feet to the west and building it 16 feet longer, it would not be on our property.
but why didn't you oppose it at the time? When it's being laid out and the grade work is done and the posts are being set, why
We
didn't?
did not know where the property line was
Okay.
exactly, Norris, like I
Yeah.
just said,
Okay, but
because
that's-
there was no,
So what,
there's
the
no,
problem is, nobody really knew exactly where the property line was. It was
Well, we-
kind of assumed that it went back
well, we
perpendicular.
knew it was somewhat close because when
Yeah.
his dad built the property, it was on Russ's, the first building. When Paul built that, it was on Russ's property, so Paul had to buy 20 feet from Russ then,
Okay.
yes. But we weren't sure exactly where it was because there was,
Well, it's odd because the property line is not anywhere close to perpendicular to the street, which is kind of what you would assume.
well,
You know,
but he didn't have it surveyed either.
Yeah, not
And
till
should he have?
after.
And should he have built it exactly like the drawing he submitted?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he didn't. 16 feet longer and bumped it 4 feet to the west.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
that's
I-
not
yeah.
his building permit. If he wouldn't have done these two things, we would not be in the situation we are
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Although it would have been, still would have been encroaching on the setback, so he would
The
have. needed-
setback would have been fine, but it's now on our property.
Yeah.
16 feet shorter and 4 feet wider.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that moved that corner, but I don't know what the setback is on a side yard. Is it 15 feet or something like that? So he still would have been within that. I mean.
But he
two-
wouldn't have been on our
But
property.
he wouldn't have been on, yeah.
It wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, but obviously, at the time, nobody knew exactly where the property line went, and, because I'm sure,
But who should have known where the property line was? When he says 16 feet or 36 feet,
yeah.
that's
But
not
that's
36 feet.
Right at the street, at the curb, that's about what it is, it looks like. But then it doesn't go perpendicular to the street, so,
But if you
That's-
look at the drawings, it's not 36 feet.
well.
At the
yeah, I
curb.
don't- It would be close to that, I don't know what I've never stepped it off, but it's, yeah, it's, so, I don't know, yeah, it's a mess.
It's a mess. Again, if he would have built it like his building permit was, we would not be in the situation we are today.
But he had good reason to move the building over because it was too close to the one next to it, and, yeah.
Okay, but that's
so-
not what the building permit stated when he
Yeah.
applied for the building permit.
Yeah.
And there's no variation on the building permit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Any other questions for me?
No, I will say though that there's plenty of lots that, like you say, they aren't like that, and especially like where I am. They're
Right.
like angled and sideways, and so it can be tricky knowing where it is.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I
and
mean-
at the planning commission meeting, he asked why the city didn't know where the property line was and why the city didn't have it surveyed. And the city there, Tammy was at that meeting, said that's not their responsibility
Mhm.
to know where the property lines are.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions on 2549, denying the Milaca Park variance? If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a vote. All in favor indicate an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution 2549 denying the Milaca Park variance passes. Resolution 2550 denying Milaca Park minor lot split. Need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
How about this one? Any questions on this? Or did you kind of get them answered on that last? Anything else, Tammy, we need to know on this?
No.
Any questions? All in favor of 2550 indicate with an aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution 2550 denying Milaca Park minor lot split passes. Okay. Moving on to the airport, nothing right now, right?
I don't, anything at the airport right now? I think it's really quiet.
Okay.
What does CZAP mean in
Clear
regards to
zone,
the runway?
clear zone approach path.
Ah.
That's, has to be clear of any obstructions.
I see all these abbreviations and I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
There is a lot.
All right, any committee reports right now? I think we're done with budget and EDC right now.
There'll be no December EDC, so.
Right. I think EDC is basically waiting on what we get moving on the junction, although I did see they're moving ahead with Circle K's lot, so that's
A
good.
lot of dirt work
Yep.
out there going on.
Are we gonna get to steal any of that for,
Yeah,
I
it,
think they're still planning on hauling it over there.
good,
yeah, they just got big mounds of it right now.
good. I've had 100 questions on when the McDonald's is opening. So it's just diesel. No unfinished business? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Could I just make a comment?
Yeah.
I don't think Circle K is gonna have a problem, but just for council's consideration in the future for other projects similar to that. I don't know if any of you have noticed yourselves or gotten calls about, but we seem to continue to have an issue with Quick Trip and their diesel pumps, with trucks pulling in and other trucks trying to pull in to get behind them to weight the fuel up in their trucks or trailers being in the traffic lanes. So before I forgot to mention something, if in the future, similar projects to that, might be worth considering the length of two vehicles, leading up to a roadway, in those types of projects. I just had to scoot one along just yesterday because he was fully out into the traffic lane. People are trying to get around right there at the intersection.
That's a good point. That's dangerous enough there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic on that corner.
Yeah. Yep. We should put a roundabout there.
Surprise,
Why'd you suggest that? Yeah.
we're getting one.
Under new business, the TRICAP contract. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion for him.
Second?
Anybody have questions on that? That was all good with you, Damien, and stuff, nothing there, okay? Hearing none, all in favor indicate with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, TRICAP contract passes. Mid-Minnesota inspections contract. Need a
Move for
motion.
approval?
Thank you.
I'll second.
How about that one? Anything we need to know? Looked pretty normal, yeah.
Yeah,
I met him today.
Hmm.
We had water heater trouble and had a new one installed, so he had to come and inspect it. Nice guy.
he's very nice. Busy man, very busy.
That's good. Okay. If nothing else, all in favor indicate with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, Minnesota inspection contract passes. City manager contract,
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
any questions on that? You know, we covered most of it in our meeting, but this is just the amendment that we add every year with the salary. No questions? All in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed? City manager contract passes. This is where we added D, and that is the new business, the cannabis regulations. I'll do a little bit of a preview of it, and then I'm gonna let him do all the important information. Basically, we've been trying to work out, the Mellow Fellow, Joe at the Mellow Fellow, they have an opportunity to get one of the licenses that came up in the lottery, if my understanding is right. Someone didn't want it, they have an opportunity to get that, so it's a good opportunity for them. But it puts them, well, maybe I'll let you describe the rest of that part. So we're trying to work with them so that they can get it to work. It's a great opportunity for them, and it's important, at least I feel it's really important to have a local, good, solid owner running that. We're gonna have it, and if we're gonna have it, I think it's important that we have someone that runs a good, solid business. They're local people, they're interested in the community. So I think it's important that, if we can help them succeed, that's a big deal. So take away the legal part.
So, as I'm sure you're all aware, the legislature did just a wonderful job when they started us down this road about 3 years ago. They just basically threw everything out there and said, this is the law, and we'll worry about fixing it later. And we've had to adjust, and we've had to change, and we've had to amend because they keep, changing this or changing that. One of the things that has now come up has to do with setbacks and the interaction between our ordinance and what we have as far as setbacks, and a provision of the statutes that the legislature enacted, and the fact that they did not in any way define a specific term that they chose to use in the area of the statutes that talk about setbacks within a city or wherever. Things like treatment facilities, schools, daycares, parks, things like that. The way in which that particular statute reads as it pertains to setbacks and parks talks about attractions within a park where minor children are commonly present. And then it says including playgrounds and baseball fields. Doesn't say anything more than that. We as a city can be more restrictive than that, and our ordinances are more restrictive than that, or at least the portion of our setback ordinance, the zoning ordinance dealing with setbacks is more restrictive than that, in that we measure to the property line of the parks. Obviously, there's some conflict there. The business has an interpretation of what should be happening. I have an interpretation of what should be happening based on what the laws are. But I understand the ambiguity and the frustration, and I think it is important that the city try and be as clear about what we mean in our ordinance, and we try and define as best we can what we mean in our ordinances in a manner that is consistent with what the statutes, I think, have tried to do, although they've done a horrible job in doing it. And so in an effort to solve this problem, not only the problem that exists now with this one particular business and the kind of the setback issues that we have up, where they are located, and the way in which our ordinances is drafted and the way in which I interpret it. I think it's important that we try and fix it, not only just because we're dealing with it now with its own particular business, but we also, I think, could possibly face the same issue down the road, and we don't want to run into a situation where we're doing spot zoning. We don't want to run into an issue where we're addressing setbacks because we want to benefit one particular business. So what I think the city needs to do is to define the word attraction for the city and for its individual parks, so that it's clearly identified for this particular park, what we define as an attraction, that would fall under this state statute are these things within this park. This playground, this bathroom, this ball field, this splash pad, this whatever. These attractions within each park, and from what I understand, there's 4 parks, and we should be able to fairly adequately identify what we believe to be those attractions. And then we can measure from there, you know, as it pertains to not only this applicant, but also other applicants as well. So the thought is, if the council, because council can't take action, and there's a lot of things that we gotta do on the front end before there can be final action. If the council is of a general consensus that yes, we need to fix this problem because the legislature did a horrible job and we gotta worry about ourselves. The idea would be to, the first thing that has to happen, because we're talking about amending the zoning ordinance, and all we're really talking about doing is adding a definition and then probably a word within the setback provisions to match the statute. But we still have to have a public hearing before the planning commission. So I think the idea would be this. The planning commission for January would be moved back a week, I think, to the 12th.
Yeah.
And the idea would, that would gives the city enough time to publish notice of the public hearing, because we have to do 10 days publication before we have the public hearing. So we would move the planning commission back to the 12th. Tammy would publish the notice of the public hearing. I would craft fairly quickly an ordinance basically amending those two provisions. And then that would go to public hearing at the planning commission. Again, assuming the planning commission, you know, at the end of the day, the city has, you guys have the final say, but planning commission will go to public hearing, assuming they are on the same boat, or regardless, but either way, they would make the recommendation to the city council, but then the ordinance would come to the city council for first reading at its regular January meeting, and then come back in February for the regular meeting for the second reading and final action. So that's kind of pushing things along quickly, but this is a simple enough process as far as what needs to be changed that it's not problematic. But because we are dealing with kind of a hot button issue, and we're dealing with not only just trying to do some cleanup, but we're also dealing with an existing business and wanting to make sure that we're acting appropriately kind of across the board, but not coming across and not actually doing anything to specifically benefit one specific business. I felt it was a good idea to try and bring this to the council now, so that you guys can ask any questions of myself or the mayor or whatever. I can do my best to answer them and try and see if we're all on the same page as far as the kind of general sense. This is the problem we need to fix, go ahead and fix it, and then we'll do what we need to do. So, that being said, I mean, if any of you have any specific questions of me, I'm happy to try and answer them as best I can. Or if you guys are just, yep, let's just fix the problem, then just kind of, not a motion, but just a general, yep, fix the problem, sort of nod ahead.
How far is our ordinance from, I mean, how much of a
500
change?
feet. So
Okay.
the setback for parks and these businesses is 500 feet. The
Okay.
way in which our ordinance is written, it measures from the property line of the park to the front door, or the nearest access point to the business that is in question.
Okay,
I mean, as it pertains to this particular business, I think they're like 470 something, I wanna say, from the property line, so it's like a 20 to 30 foot difference, something like that. But again, this is not about fixing a problem for this business, from my perspective. It's adding a definition to fix a problem for the city that the state created. Because I don't wanna run into a situation where, you know, next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you're gonna have a business, and then, you know, we're dealing with the same setback issue, but we're still dealing with the same underlying problem that we have lack of clarity in our ordinance as it relates to the state, lack of clarity in the state statute as it applies to how we can enforce the zoning ordinance.
I would kind of be in agreement with Dave that, you know, it's a coming thing, and we know we have a relationship with this particular business and business owner, and that can be helpful for having a good working relationship
Right.
and a good responsible business operator, and
Yep. Anybody else have questions?
Are you able just to draft something up for us to review as far as,
Yeah.
and just
I mean,
to
if you want,
move it
I will-
quickly?
Yeah. if you
Yeah,
want.
prior to.
Fine.
Yeah.
So, you want before, what I'm gonna do is, procedurally speaking, what's gonna happen is at the first available date that Tammy can, she's gonna publish a notice of the public hearing, and I will prepare the ordinance amending, it's gonna be.
Definitions. of-
Yeah, it's gonna be amending the definitions portion of the zoning ordinance, and then going back to the setback provision, and probably just adding the word attractions where minors are regularly present, or something along those lines. So I'll have basically, it'll be a 1 page, maybe 2 pages, that just shows what's being deleted, what's being added. And then, you know, I can provide a narrative if you feel it's necessary, before I can be at the city council or the
Yeah.
planning commission meeting as well, to answer any questions. But it's gonna be pretty simple and straightforward.
Are
So
you,
for future, each park will have the definitions of the attractions
So
that
like a
are
swing set.
within, exactly.
Yeah, so, yeah,
Playground, band shell, Gorecki Center, splash pad. I mean, that way those are defined within it.
and so, yeah, that, I apologize, I think I misinterpreted the question, yes. By that planning commission meeting, there will be a list for this particular park. These are what we are defining as attractions where minors can be present regularly. There'll also be some language that says, you know, this can be modified, it's not an exclusive list. If you guys build something down the road or whatever, it's designed to be, you know, kind of all-inclusive, so. But yes, you will have that list, and the planning commission will have that list. And if all of you have ideas that you think this park should, you know, for this park, I think this would be someplace where kids would congregate regularly, swing set, playground, whatever. Let Tammy know.
Sorry, are you amending the setback by what it's next to?
No, we're not amending any setback,
Setback.
actually, we're not amending any setback numbers at all. I think that's a bad way to go about doing
Yeah.
it, because
Okay.
it doesn't fix the underlying problem. All we're doing is, we're just adding the word, and we're not changing the portion of the setback portion of the zoning ordinance. We're also not changing the language that says that for purposes of setback, we measure to our property line. But we are adding clarifying language in that section to make sure that we are consistent with the state statute, that it has ambiguity within it, so that we don't run into a problem where something happens, something gets denied, and then they decide to sue us because they feel as though we're acting outside of the scope of our authority. I can give my opinion to that, but the best legal advice that I can give is put ourselves in a situation where we don't even have to face that particular problem down the road. And that's by providing a definition where our state did not.
I'm just trying to wrap my brain. So you're saying it, the particular business is 470 feet away. But if you add the attraction in there and the swing
No,
sets.
they've already added the word attraction.
Okay, so if, say it's a swing set, swing set is
400
Is
or 500.
600 feet away.
Yeah.
We
Then
could never
they-
move that swing set.
No, nothing.
No, you-
We move nothing in the parks. No, never.
Like, but what, one day if we had to, I mean, is
We
it
do
gonna?
it. Yeah, there's nothing that we do. I mean, nothing that we do in the way of this, in any shape, form, or fashion, restricts the city's ability to do whatever it wants within the scope of allowable law, within any of parks. So if you want to move something, if you want to build something new, if the new distance creates a violation of the setbacks because of what we've done, all that does is that business becomes a lawful, non-conforming use, which would put some restrictions on their ability to expand and things like that, but it doesn't eliminate their ability.
It's kind of like they're grandfathered in.
Yeah, that's an easier way to look
Yeah.
at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my other question was, you were saying that you wanted to push the planning commission back. It's already on the 12th.
Well, it would have been on the 5th.
Okay.
Usually it's the first Monday.
Okay, because
Yeah.
it looks like it's on the second Monday on every
Oh,
day
good.
in
We
the
did-
calendar.
We did change them quite a bit around.
Okay.
but,
Because
Oh,
I was
then
looking, they're
then it's
all on the
perfect.
second,
Yeah.
they're all on the second
Mhm.
Saturday, or a Monday.
Yeah, it is the 12th.
Oh, good,
So-
then you don't even have to move it. You're all
There you
set.
go.
So are we good, kind of moving forward?
Do you need a motion? on
Nope,
We
nope,
can't take formal
nope,
action because it's
nope.
an
Okay.
addition. We can't
But-
take- I just want to make sure that the consensus was yes, because
Mhm.
if 4 of the 5 of you are like, oh, hell no.
Just change the word
You guys
from
will make the final
attraction
call
to
anyway.
distraction.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
Okay, I think you're good.
Okay, all right, we'll get on then. Hopefully you'll do the notice.
Okay. Moving on, nothing under miscellaneous, council comments. Norris, you gotta go, so you wanna
Yeah,
go?
Yep,
You're good?
yeah, I'm
You
good.
gotta go?
Yeah, I got another.
Anything, Ken?
No, I'm abstaining from that.
Anything, Lindsay? Tim?
I have one question for
Yeah.
Quinn. I noticed in the budget there was money for your rental property classes. Do you offer those regularly? I'm sorry?
Yeah, the crime-free rental, that has been provided for many.
Okay.
Okay, that's all.
Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So adjourn 6:47.